Okay, I'm doing another movie list. I have lost track of what number this is, but I'm following along with Lisa Loves as she does her movie lists from the book Film Listography single, right? I don't know. I'll put it's here on the screen somewhere. Um, so this one is favorite sci-fi, I think, and I do like sci-fi, but I'm not good at making lists. So, and I wanted to try to avoid, I don't think I had too much in common with Lisa on this one. I mean, I liked some of the ones on her list, but they wouldn't have made my list. I haven't included any Star Trek or Star Wars, even though I love those. And the Alien franchise, I love all of those. I always list that as my favorite sci-fi, so I'm not going to put that on this list. And, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, both the 1976 and the 1978. Love both of those. Well, pretty much Body Snatcher movies in general. The Faculty, that would probably count as a Body Snatcher movie. Yeah, love all those. I haven't included them just because I wanted to give my list some variety from what I usually say. So, I guess if this is the only video of mine you've watched, you're kind of getting shafted, but whatever. Number 1, Sunshine, the Danny Boyle space movie where they have to go take a bomb to restart the sun or something. I mean, I watched it last night. That's the only one I had time to rewatch. So that's the thing also. This list is just based on past memories. And I don't remember all the movies, actually, because I didn't have time to rewatch anything because I didn't want to get too far behind. But Sunshine, we watched it last night. Great movie. Great characters. Lots, like the cast is amazing. You've got Cillian Murphy, Michelle Yeoh, Chris Evans, Rose Byrne. I don't know anybody else's name, but great cast. Love the whole, I mean, it's kind of got a little bit of an Alien vibe in the beginning because, like it's them around their little mess hall area, and they've each got their different areas of expertise and stuff. But anyway, the music is really good, like the score, excellent, just great movie. Also, these are in no particular order, and I'm kind of cheating a little bit on some of these because they're not like the strongest sci-fi, but they've got sci-fi elements. So number 2 is Inception, which may fall into that category of having sci-fi elements. I mean, like it's like a dream within a dream. I guess sci-fi, I think more spacey kind of stuff, but it's, a broad genre. So, yeah, Inception. Loved Inception. I haven't watched it in a long time, so I don't really remember a lot about it, but, also great cast and everything. Number 3 is a cheat because I'm including 3 movies. District 9, which was on Lisa's list, Elysium, and Chappie. So, District 9, that was obviously the first one I watched. Well, not obviously, because you could watch things out of order, but that was the first one I saw. It kind of freaked me out. I don't like when people turn into other things, and you've got the aliens, yeah. But, and I don't know like all the politics behind it. It's like, allegory or one of those kind of literary type things where it's like representative of something else that's going on. What is that called? Yeah. I don't know, but I don't know anything about South Africa or whatever this is supposed to be portraying, but in weird sci-fi terms. Anyway, but I did end up really liking the movie. I think it's great. And then Elysium, I don't know how I missed this movie, but because it stars Jodie Foster. And I really liked it. A lot of people thought her acting was bad in this, but I disagree. I mean, she's playing a villain, first of all. That is fantastic, because, that doesn't happen often. And she's doing an accent that kind of switches between British and French, which I'm sure is deliberate. Knowing, how much thought she puts into these things. Like, for example, on Silence of the Lambs.
They did a scene one time where she wasn't really doing the accent, and Jonathan Demme was like, "Are you going to do the accent?" And she's like, "Well, I'm doing it a little bit, because remember, it's Hannibal Lecter who can detect that she has the accent, which is kind of smart." So there's that, and then like the language they came up with for Nell, like the story behind that was kind of fascinating. She also speaks fluent French. Like, she dubbed all the French versions of her movies up until, I think, Hotel Artemis, or like most of them, up until Hotel Artemis, because that character talks really fast, so she wasn't fast enough to do the dubbing on that one. But I think she also speaks, like, I've seen her give an interview in Italian, maybe? I don't know. But, yeah.
So I'm sure, like, it's switching, the accent being inconsistent was a choice, probably. But also, wow. Fantastic. Fantastic villain. Love it. And then the last one, Chappie, I was not expecting that to make me cry. I didn't even want to watch it because I don't, like, robots freaked me out. I don't know how I didn't have a robot movie on my, I should have had a robot movie on my horrors that freak me out thing, because Superman 3 was the scariest movie from my childhood. And that's saying something, because I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the theater when I was in elementary school. So, yeah. What was I saying? Okay, yeah, robots. Robots freak me out. Chappie is adorable, though. And it made me cry. Of course, I watched it because, doesn't Sigourney Weaver have, like, a small part? But then you've got Hugh Jackman, and he's, like, a real jackass. So, yeah, but I was not expecting it to make me cry, and it did. It was great. So, number 4, probably also a weird choice, and that is Judge Dredd. Not the newer movie with Carl Urban, but the one with Sylvester Stallone. I love that movie. Went to see it in the theater. That was my first rated R movie that I saw in the theater by myself. My mom and sister went to go see Pocahontas, I think it was, which I've still to this day never seen, and I went to see Judge Dredd, and it was great. And I ended up getting, like, the novelization and reading that, and I had the soundtrack, loved the soundtrack, and then, like, eventually got, like, the whole score soundtrack with Alan Silvestri, however you say his name, and it's probably one of my favorite, like, superhero top scores. It's just a great score. But yeah, love that movie. And number 5 is a movie I don't remember a lot about, but I remember I watched it over and over back when I first saw it, and that is Ultraviolet, starring Mila. How do you say her last name? Is it Jovovich or Jovovich? Jovovich? However you say her name, probably nowhere near close. But yeah, I really liked that movie. I mean, it's kind of like spacey vampires, but yeah, and I don't remember anything about it, but great movie. I'm assuming that's sci-fi, because there was, like, all kinds of futuristic stuff. Wasn't it set in the future, like way in the future or something? I don't know. Number 6, I decided I needed some old school sci-fi movie on here, so I picked Logan's Run. Yeah, that movie kind of freaked me out when I saw it the first time, because, the premise is nobody can live past the age of 30. At 30, they have to kind of go into this thing where they're supposed to, called carousel or something, and they're, like, I don't know if they're supposed to get, like, reincarnated or something. I don't know, whatever, but it's all a lie. It's kind of like that movie The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson. Is that kind of a remake of this, or kind of a reimagined version of this? Anyway, whatever. That's my pick, which yeah. Number 7 is probably another one that's kind of like barely sci-fi. I mean, it's an experiment gone wrong, and that is the Philadelphia experiment. So, I mean, that's sciencey, but yeah, love that movie. I haven't watched it in a while, but it's kind of sappy, but loved it back in the day. So, we're putting it on the list. Number 8 is Source Code. I think that's sci-fi-y, right? Yeah, I don't actually remember a lot about this movie other than I remember I really liked it and watched it like several times when I first saw it. Uh, yeah. So, going on the list. Number 9 is Runaway, starring Tom Selleck. Just love this movie. I mean, it's got like futuristic elements to it, but I like that it's kind of, I mean, it's from 1984 and it's kind of stays in like uh, that time period, but it's got like, there's robots everywhere. So, yeah, I like that one. Great cast, a lot of fun. And number 10 is Time Crimes. I saw this movie, I don't remember when I saw this movie, but I went into it expecting more of a horror movie, and that's not what it is. I mean, it's got this cool, I mean, the whole time travel thing. I love time travel movies anyway, and this was just a great one to me. So, I don't even know, is it Spanish? What is this movie? I know it's like not in English, but loved it. Great movie. So that is my top 10 sci-fi movies. And I will put a link in the description to Lisa's video of her top sci-fi movies. And until next time, yeah, cheers, thanks a lot.